This is General Lee, and he's about 2 to 3 years old, and he's actually been with us since March. And you might say, well, I visit the shelter, I watch the show, I check out the social media, and I've not heard anything about General Lee. That's for a very important reason. He has been in a 4-month quarantine. What happens in his case and in all of our 4-month quarantine cases is that animals come to the shelter with bite wounds of unknown origin. And because we don't know where those bite wounds came from, we don't know whether they possibly came from a rabid animal. And because it's a public safety issue due to the fact that rabies is a fatal illness, we have to quarantine them to make sure that they're not showing any symptoms of that. And we have to make sure that we are getting them vaccinated at the appropriate times and things of that nature. So animals that come in with no vaccine history, like General Lee here who was a stray, have to be in a 4-month quarantine. And then animals that have a vaccine history of some sort have a shorter quarantine period. So fortunately for General Lee, and another cat on the floor right now, actually, Carl, we had a foster who was willing to do this. So the way that those quarantines work is the animals go into one room in a double isolation. They only have one handler. They don't get to interact with other animals. And then once they have been given the all clear after that period of time and they show no symptoms of the disease, then they are able to come back and be made available for adoption here. And so that's what's happened with both General Lee and another cat named Carl. So we do have a lot of information on how he behaves after that 4-month period. However, it is kind of a little bit in a vacuum because for most of his period of time with that foster family, he was isolated. So he did really well with his foster. He wants to be with people. He doesn't really like to be carried around, but he likes to lay on you or next to you. He plays, he runs around, he loves to jump on the cat tree. He didn't like the window screen. It made him nervous. Likes eating catnip. He likes cat treats and squeaky mice toys. And once he passed his 4-month period of time, he was able to mingle into the rest of the house and meet some of the other animals. So we learned a little bit more. He enjoyed following his foster around. She describes him as a total cat dog. He's friendly with other animals after a proper introduction. And she says he would do fine with other normal cats of any age. Since he's been here, we've color-coded him in green, and he's done really well on the adoption floor, meeting volunteers and potential adopters. If you want to give him a forever home, you can visit him here at the shelter. The address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue.